Yeah, already locked in playoffs, so you can use that to kind of facilitate a bit of ease in the lane and not just put a ton of pressure onto Joey. I think it'll go okay for them. We'll actually see if they get some attention from McSmithy and try to go off the handle, though. Lulu and Camille getting taken out, and Darshan having some good success on the top lane carries as of late. And a Rumble ban for Flame. A lot of top lane focus here coming in, and the jungle.
Yep. I would expect the Malzahar first pick because the Lulu's banned away, but Karma, also a fantastic pick here for the support position. And it's kind of been away from what Ole was playing originally with the Morgana and the Nami. But Karma seems to be definitely in his wheelhouse and pretty much considered the second best support right behind the fact that Lulu's off the table.
He actually gets Caitlyn. Caitlyn was one of the ones Afro's been playing, so this is going to feel good for him to at least be on something for the past few weeks. He has had some games on. Smithy gets the Gragas, so a good few power picks there on the side of Counter Logic Gaming. Immortals, not too bad as well, rounding out a composition with a good amount of tank and safety already. The damage to come through soon.
Yeah, saving their AD carry pick for later. The Caitlyn picked up, but they decide to go for a big tank here in the top lane. And they go with Darshan's clean Lee Sin up against the Gragas. So this is kind of like comfort here for both junglers. It's interesting because Dardoch was saying that there was a call for him to play a different champion in Champion Select. And previously, in the last time that they had that game 3 and up against Cloud9, and instead, he's like, I really want to play Lee Sin here. And they let him do it. His team said, okay, you know what? We believe in you. And it really helped him untilt from that. So he's going to start the series off with the Lee Sin pick here, saying it's the best pick to help him take over the game, maybe even punish that bottom lane.
We all need a team that gets behind Dardoch, like Dardoch's team. We all have had games like that. So Fiora gets locked in for Darshan on the top side. Another way he can create pressure besides the Camille, maybe take a little bit of a love away from Aframu and Joey and pull Dardoch to that top lane. Make sure that Aframu and Joey can have an easy farm out lane. Already have the Caitlyn. Just pick something to sustain and stay on the backside and keep it even easier. Second phase of bans come through. He gets hit along with Cody's son. No stun bot from the AD carry Ash.
It's only that too, so the Syndra on the table taken off, and with the AD carries kind of moderately pinched, you still see Jhin, you'll still see Varus, something that also gets played. More of an attack speed build now, but the Ashe is just to make sure they don't have that long range that you can kind of match in lane with. And also there's things like Lucian that people are playing now as well.
Joey actually grabbing a ban there. Zyra as well. I thought they might have gone to Huhi for one more, but they do give respect. Ooh, a level of play that he can bring to the table. So the Janna comes in, safety for the side of Counter Logic Gaming if Dardoch or any of the team were to get in.
Yeah, I like the Janna here for comfort for Joey in his solo queue. It's not his most played, but it is his highest win rate champion.
Yep.
And Janna always kind of has that in solo queue. We'll see how that transitions though into professional play for Joey. That comfort on that champion. I mean, that's a pretty strong lane. When you have that bully potential, giving her the shield, giving Aframu the shield to have that extra attack damage, and nice Talia for Pole Belter. I'm loving that. Talia is a champion that we've been seeing a little bit in the LCK. People will pull it out whenever it's a comfort pick for them. And this is blind as well for the Talia. And it's super interesting because this champion, okay, I'll finish my Talia point and move on to this next one because Talia, I feel like this is very risky because there are some counters to it that you can play, but I'm glad we're seeing it now. But the Warwick cover there, it's a shout out to Stixay. It was his favorite champion and he would cover it every game. So Joey, give him one for his homeboy in the hospital right now.
That was very nice. A favorite champion of Stixay throughout the past. But we have the Ahri locked in now. That is going to be who he's in the mid lane. He still gets himself a damage dealer that can also control and get a good roam on, as we know who he loves to get out of that mid lane. Up against Pole Belter's Talia. Haven't seen it in too long, but we know he can play it quite well and always has a good eye for separating the fight and being able to get the team into an advantageous position.
Yeah, interesting thing here for Immortals composition is it's really low damage unless Pole Belter takes over the early game and Cody's son gets some time to scale up. But then Counter Logic Gaming just has a very effective range. They have dive potential with the Ahri for Huhi. They have split push with having Darshan. And they also have just a good front-to-back team fighting here where it's hard to reach that backline with the Janna. And the Gragas will also provide disengage. So getting the engage onto the Caitlyn is pretty much going to require the Nautilus or the Lee Sin from Immortals to really get in there and get in there quick and deal enough damage to blow up the Caitlyn.
Hermes and Zix makes their way off the stage. The final words given to the players. Here, your final words on Twitter for game one. Hashtag IMTWin, hashtag CLGWin. You can obviously tweet after that. But get your votes in. We'll show those on screen. And I believe some of the final words over the side of CLG is kind of, don't allow the pressure to get to you. It's on the stage. Joey has actually looked super calm throughout the studio today. In and out, smile on his face, even after a very long trip. And we're gonna see how this jumble for Counter Logic Gaming here in week 9 plays out towards the end of the split. Have to remember that playoff spot for them is locked in. Immortals is fighting to get that playoff spot still. And even after this win, they'll have to fight again.
Yep. Currently, Immortals are 7-9 in their match wins. And Dignitas is the team that they play next, who is sitting at 8 wins and 9 losses. They would have head-to-head against Dignitas. So the match tomorrow, if Immortals win that, they're in playoffs, and Dignitas, believe, would be out, pending what happens with the FlyQuest match. FlyQuest is the other team right now that is sitting at 8 wins, 9 losses, but they play Team Liquid. So you have to take all those things into consideration here. If Counter Logic Gaming lose this match to Immortals, that means that there's a possibility that FlyQuest could be the ones who are left on the outside looking in.
Like riding a bike, Cyrus.
Yeah, there's like a
It's like,
back at it.
he's like, I remember this.
Yeah. For some context as well, we looked up when Aframu's last AD carry game was professionally, and it was November 30th, 2012 with Team Fear, and the last team that he played against was Team Meat Playground, which was Pobelter's team. So he makes his debut a way that it ended on AD carry against Pobelter.
There you go. It shows you just how long these guys have actually been in it for the long haul. They've seen it all.
Been around for, that's 4.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Getting old, Riv.
Nope, unaged.
Yeah, you've stayed the same.
It's just a hair degree of the changes. Assistance to Raptors here for Dardock to start things off. It looks like an orb of deception over the wall for Xmithy. Getting a little bit more love for his Raptors. But knowledge to now where the junglers have started is to both teams.
Yeah, and Gragas gets to do this and be incredibly healthy. Actually clears it faster than Dardock does, even with the assistance of Talia, because the AoE abilities really help you out level 1. And so the route's just a tiny bit faster, but it's interesting because Xmithy is not doing a clear on his left side of the jungle. He is going for a Raptors to the right side. So this will mean that he either has to double back for his red buff. Whew, there's a lot of damage here on the Aframu, or he has to go to the other side.
Missed timing on the shield. Not much Joey could do. Good auto attacks back, though, as he's still trying to trade. You see those potions, I should say biscuits, chucked quite quick on the side of Aframu. This gives dominance to the lane of IMT here. What we expected as these two get situated with playing together.
Yeah. He pushed out a lane very quickly. The Karma will do that. That's why Karma is considered by most pros to be the second best, because her wave clear, her mantra Q, even on just caster minions, gets you level 2 shove advantage automatically. So Joey will have to deal with that, and so will Aframu in this role. Oh, Dardock looking for the punish top. Xmithy's on the opposite side, and this is a very shoved up Darshan.
He has a dash.
Got the slow.
Level 2, forces the flash out.
Doesn't apply.
Nope. Sonic Wave denied out. Aframu has to play a little bit careful now. Top side is kind of warded out. Scuttle control as well, so it might be a return here for Dardock. A little more breathing room for CLG to get back to mid lane. It might just be time for Cody Sun and Ole again to get those auto attacks in behind the minions. It seems like Cody Sun's doing his best to not push that wave and give him enough time to keep auto attacking and mystic shotting Aframu and Joey all the time.
Yeah, you have this bottom lane that can keep fishing for skill shots here between the Karma and the Ezreal. You can separate them so they don't get hit by Piltover Peacemakers. Don't stand on the minion wave as well, because then the Piltover Peacemaker will hit the wave, clear the wave, do damage to it, and hit your champion, which is kind of what Caitlyn really wants to do early, is to shove out. But they're playing incredibly defensive, and look at that. Those are just landing.
It is quite brutal. It gets annoying, too. You want to walk up for a shot, you're always taking damage. And then next time you do walk up to take one, it could be a jungler in the brush. Lucky enough, Dardock still hovering around that top side as CLG has spent most of their time below half HP in the bottom.
He doesn't have flash.
Yeah, there's the return. They were waiting for it. The flash isn't even near a quarter.
This is interesting as
Maybe
well.
he can come back again.
The fact that Dardoch kept going top lane, decided not to pick on that bottom lane because it's completely shoved in. So what Immortals are doing is they're saying, we'll just win bottom lane, we'll keep them underneath their turret. This is not a gankable lane, but it's one that we'll get a CS advantage in and slowly push them out of. It's a diveable lane, but that has higher risk that if you continue to gank that top lane Fiora after getting the flash. So good play by Dardoch to continue to gank that lane.
You can see how fast they went back towards that flash. Darshan calling for the referee to start things off. And Dardoch and the team saw that he didn't get Camille because of the bans, so he took Fiora, and they said, all right, let's continue to create the pressure up there on Darshan so he can't. 1 kill towards him already, and we'll see what this issue is and get it situated. So far, Darshan has been pushed up in that lane on Flame, trying to add the pressure, and he got Dardoch's love.
I was just looking through it, seeing if there was anything like a possible bug. There's been some talk about auto attack enhancers not going through on riposte and being properly blocked, etc. Unsure if that's the case here. Just looks like he tried to riposte the W from Flame, or the auto attack from Flame, and it didn't root him. So
right,
we'll see what they're talking about in a bit. The refs pretty much go through watching it over again and making the call. If that is what it is, could be a keyboard malfunction. I'm speculating at this point.
It could absolutely possibly be. Playing quite aggressive in the lane and trying to go up.
Yeah, so what they're checking is the auto attack from the Nautilus will apply the root, and what it did for Darshan is it put the root on cooldown for him, and he tried to use riposte. He didn't get rooted, but he didn't return a stun, whereas Fiora riposte will normally return effects like that. They're seeing if that is the intended reaction or interaction.
Right.
Because there are some funny ones. For example, Fiora versus Kennen, you can never return a stun versus Kennen. Because the way that one works is you have to take damage, which then applies a mark, which then when you have 3 of them, stuns. So she blocks the damage, she doesn't take damage, then she doesn't get a mark, so she wasn't going to get stunned.
Right.
So she'll sit on 2 marks, and then as soon as she's done riposting, then you stun her again. So there's some interactions like that where the riposte isn't blocking a CC, but if it's blocking the damage, it doesn't get CC'd, so it's kind of strange. So they're checking. We'll see what that is. But it was definitely one that if he had stunned Flame, it would have helped him out a whole bunch. Maybe getting a flash out of Flame to follow, but he didn't have flash himself and was kind of dead to rights there.
It was a difficult play to see in the beginning. We do have readies on the screen to see if we'll be flying back in. It was Smithy heading towards that top side, so he almost timed this as well to be up there for the return. Just probably not expecting that Dardoch would have done it so quick. We saw Dardoch almost back maybe twice in that lane to go and give himself a different situation to go for, but continued, got that kill onto Darshan, and we'll see if this one plays through as we head back into game.
Yep, apparently it's ruled that you continue playing, and we'll see, because that can do stuff to Fiora players where they're like, oh man, it should have worked this way, even if it isn't the intended reaction, or if it is the intended reaction, they're kind of like, man, that just doesn't feel like how it should go, so we'll see how Darshan is able to handle that. See it again here, because he goes for the auto attack right there. Darshan doesn't get rooted, but doesn't even return a stun in return. And if he returns a stun, he may have a chance to get away there. But Flame still has flash, Dardoch still has flash, and may have still been a distance that could be close. But they continue to play on it, so we'll see. Yeah, Counter Logic Gaming. The map is kind of going bad for them all over the place. Bottom lane, almost dead here. They're gonna have to back off this turret. It's not like riding a bike, Riv.
Yeah.
Aphro, seems like maybe the training wheels are needed at least once. I mean, you get told at 4 a.m. you're swapping roles. It's not the easiest thing to cope with.
Yeah. It's all right. Sometimes you just realize it's a flat tire. You got to get it. That's mid-game, right? Pump it up, we'll get back into it. But no, like I said before, they're not going crazy right now. They knew this was going to happen in the bot lane to some extent. I'm sure they're prepared as well. Darshan, Afremu, probably still calling some shots, making sure the team has the voice they need in the game. Control wards being purchased up to stop any type of snowball that could get into the jungle, as we already see deep wards here from Immortals have made their way in.
And you can see Darshan just continuing to push up the wave. Still has a lead in CS, but that assist going over in that death had to blow the teleport to get back to lane. So Flame will have that advantage for now.
And Darshan still actually waiting on that flash. I know it looks like it is up, but it is down for the time.
It is down, you're right.
It is down. It is 5 minutes, and he only used it about 3.5 ago.
It's a spectator book. He still has time on it. Fight breaking out here.
Dardoch, it looks like he should get out.
TP.
Quick Spirit Rush coming in. Flash over the wall from Dardoch. Pole Belter finds himself in a possibly bad situation, but Flame turns around. What the strategy was for the area. Very nice cutoff onto Kuki. He's going to work that ground as Pole Belter comes up with a kill for himself. We'll see if they can control bot lane as well. Focus resolve onto Joey. Could be the kill here. Arcane shift over Cody-san with another attack. And it's the Ignite that picks up the kill.
Yep, 2-on-2 kill in the bottom lane. Joey goes down. But that's also another kill that went over there because Dardoch actually died to Xmithy. And this turret's already really unhealthy. They're going to try to go for the dive here.
Whoa, Ole could find himself going down. Heats up. One more shot. Actually, cannon for the kill. Thank you very much, says Aframu. 4 summoners down. Even if they were to return to that lane, it might be better that the turret falls now and they can farm on the backside. Joey may be able to get some roam in and cut off Immortals' surge here.
Yeah, this is also a really awkward gank on top side. You see Xmithy's kind of like chilling. Maybe I can gank, but he'd have to use Body Slam to enter the lane or take a substantial amount of damage, which you really just don't want to do. And Darshan doesn't have a way to shove this up fast enough.
See again between Smithy and Dardoch.
Yep, got the Body Slam there to stop the damage from Dardoch. Continues to go after him here. Huhi, flash comes through, and then Pole Belter does a really great job here of just cutting him off at the pass, throwing the ultimate over the wall, the Weaver's wall, jumping down the other side, having a great inside track. And Dardoch came back to help, but he gets killed in return. And the dive here was actually the really great part from Ole. After they pick up Joey, when he dives afterwards, he goes for the Mantra W, so he continues to heal himself underneath turret and get some of those ticks back. So when he goes for it, he's ready, gets the renewal down, starts to heal himself there. You guys can see the numbers pop up 102, 152. So it allows him to tank a little bit longer so it never transfers to Cody-san, and Cody gets that turret on top of it. So he's rolling in the money right now.
It's a really underestimated skill. You remember all long ago, you would easily use Karma's heal because it was on her Q and you'd throw it out and you'd feel somebody getting healed. Now it's yours, and you don't realize how much it can actually provide for you. Definitely took that gank by storm.
Oh yeah, those tank Karmas know though. It's incredibly annoying. I believe it got changed to not ticking throughout the entire thing and just having 2 instances.
Yeah. Ole feeling pretty comfortable to get himself in. A few more wards as we see CLG starting to put down a bit of a security system for themselves. Pole Belter halving Joey there.
Going for the all-in here, Darshan.
Vitals against the wall.
There's the stun.
Nice played by Flame. He finds it, flashes to it. Here comes the heal. Flame's gonna go down. Obviously, Anchor tosses away. Darshan able to get into range. He has the rest of the team, but it's not gonna be enough. Body slam from Xmithy keeps him alive. The shield's there from Ole. Woo! Helps him out. Able to take down the rest of the team. Joey's shield, not as big as Ole's.
Everybody's showing up here. Here comes Huhi.
Dardoch was a little heady on that one. Gets the kick back. His team not coming in as fast. They didn't feel as comfortable with it. If they would have stepped in, he may still be alive. They are very chaotic and scrambled in this fight. Are they gonna, oh my word. Gets the heal with the body slam plus a, I don't even know, yeah, his refillable potion. I think we're done. I think it's done for now.
Is it?
Those shields at the end from Joey and Ole keeping people alive with slivers of health. Ole still having a chance to do that here with Cody-san. That ward knocked out. Take it out though.
Yeah,
let's see it again.
Cody-san had ulti too, but yeah, Darshan, even though he's running out of mana here, plays this correctly, goes after him, throws down the riposte to make sure he's not stunned by the depth charge and returns it. And then Pole Belter and Ole actually coming up from the other side of the map. This is from the enemy jungle. And so it's completely catching CLG off guard, but Joey was also rolling up here. And then that was a really, really clutch Q there from Pole Belter. Just actually went straight through. Dreaded volley up to its name, whereas Huhi now finally gets over here. And Cody-san actually walked from the bottom lane after he had pushed it up. So by the very end of it, we just had Ezreal, who had gone on an exploring adventure, to now be in the top lane.
Might be a good tactic for CLG. Keep the chaos going on Immortal side. They kind of want to play a structured game. Get their turrets down. CLG keeps forcing these fights as they come up to the turret. And we may have another one. This one from Dardoch, though. He's going to be routing around back of the red buff. Some jungle fun.
A lot of damage there for the Gragas. Going for the Runic Echoes first. Gragas does a deceptive amount of damage at one item. Hold on, this is going to get spicy.
Whoa, Joey getting caught out towards the top side. Pole Belter will be dropped by Huhi, so the 1-for-1. Looks like Pole Belter tried to use a cleanse on that one as well to get the upper hand in the fight, so Summoner down for him. Ignite used for Huhi.
Yeah, trying to get that Ignite off. Cleanse will remove all Summoner spells from you. Exhaust, Ignite. We'll try to do that, make sure he doesn't take much damage. And now, Immortals, they're going to have to clean the middle lane up of minions. Flame will just stay and do that, but the top lane, they're trying to shove in. They're still trying to punish Afromu and Joey. Push this lane in. $123-87 was the result kind of that first breakout of bot lane. We should have a chance to farm up a bit. Nope. Looking for Flame. He might have to flash the wall. Thinking. Wasting time. He's waiting for a Dardoch. Wasting time. Safeguard over the wall. And Darshan's going to be in on this one. Actually doing quite good damage to both members. They now focus down onto him as they get a hold of the fight. And they're able to take down both Darshan and Xmithy quite quick. Flame walked out so confidently. They thought he was going to flash, but really just drew him in. Didn't have to flash, but look at this. Monsoon comes in. Ultimate as well from Cody-san just went off. So we'll see how this gets tempered a little bit with those ults down. Yeah, Afromu returning some fire there with the ultimate. Yeah. And Joey literally had just hit 6 there as that dive started. Now Pole Belter just clearing out some wards, making sure. But this has been a really brutal top side of the map, which used to be the bottom, I guess. But it's starting shield. Going back and forth. But this turret, it's just the same story as what happened in the bottom side. This was great from Flame. He knows that he has a jungler on the bottom side of the map here. And the Q originally gets reposted, so Dardoch can't take a Q in. So hold on. Speaking of getting in. Oh, into the Nautilus passive. Alley-oop. That was awesome. Well played by Immortals to get in for a quick kill in the mid lane. Pole Belter almost being able to finish with the turret. But kills like that cause the team to scramble, and CLG won't be able to force any more fights if they're trying to call audibles to those situations. Ole, looking for some damage on Afro. Ooh, just out of the resolve range. Oh wait, he might be going down. Shots coming in, hit him with one, hit him with two. Blast Cone saves himself, but Xmithy comes over. Oh, he wants him to kill. He wants to. Oh. He's trying to style on him. Oh, I thought he was gonna leave him for the beast. I would have liked it. So they get out with a kill. Support seem to be having a troublesome day here on the Rift. It has not been a support's game. No. It makes me sad. It's all right. I know what they're feeling. 6,000 gold lead here for Immortals as they slowly pressure down on each lane. Looks like Flame does return to the bot side. We have seen the continued return, I should say, of Cody-san and Ole to the top. And really, Pole Belter has just been here with Weaver's Wall whenever the fight begins, or he may be necessary. Him and Huhi have kind of just been going at it pretty even in the mid lane. Yeah, and it's coming down to a lot of those roams. And I talked about it right after Champion Select about the compositions. Immortals is rather low damage unless they get Pole Belter and Cody-san off the ground. Yep. And it's definitely happened. Ezreal, Cody-san has a large CS advantage for himself. Pole Belter 3-1 and 2, doing very well in this middle lane. But also Dardoch, building a bit of damage for himself, the Hex Drinker coming through. So this composition, quite scary, definitely ahead of the curve right now. And so they can snowball this to a victory. Whereas Counterlogic Gaming, they kind of need to wait for Darshan, get 2 items, 3 items, and start split pushing. Spread out across the map for CLG. Like IMT is going to use this time to get their wards pressed back in. Control wards for CLG have been used quite nicely lately to stop aggression onto Darshan. Then what turned into Afromu and Joey in the top lane. But they have to keep moving. Immortals keeps changing up what they're doing every few minutes. And Immortals has all 3 of those outer turrets. And they also have a Mountain Drake and an Ocean, so they can continue to take some skirmishes, siege up on turrets, and they'll have a really good time. But now you can see they're kind of splitting the map with a 1-3-1. They'll put their bottom lane and their jungler towards the middle, take control of both sides of the jungle, both quadrants with wards, and then they'll have Pole Belter on the top with a semi-global with the Weaver's Wall, and then they'll have Flame on the bottom side to shove in and use his teleport. And I want to talk about Immortals 15 minutes because in the second half of the split, weeks 5 through 9, Immortals is actually the best team at 15-minute gold advantages. Their gold difference at 15 on average is 1,525 gold up. And the next highest average at 15 in the second half of the split is only 600 up for Phoenix 1. So Immortals, they aren't just smashing the early game against a team like Counterlogic Gaming, they're actually smashing the early game in the second half of the split more than any other team.
Interesting to see. You know, as we kind of said, I believe, on the desk before, you look at the bot lane, was that a weak point of Immortals when they're actually going quite even and allowing Dardoch to do things in the jungle. Dardoch would have bad games, but the team picks it up in another spot, and they have those strong early games. Flame can usually win those advantages, small by mechanical-wise. So it is interesting that it's kind of a hidden reason they have all of these advantages towards 15, and they're not just big dragon fights, fights in mid, turret taking.
Yeah, and we had looked at like the CSD for Immortals bottom lane at 15 minutes was about 12, 13 up, but then their gold advantage was about 700. So they're about half of the advantage that you would accrue at 15 minutes for the Immortals team. And right now, that Trinity Force coming through already for Cody Sun, 17 minutes on top of his Manamune. So this guy is just raking in the cash right now. Up 50 CS right now, or 40 CS. Can't do math on stream ever. But yes, he's up 40. Oh, wait, did I do it wrong again? I did it. I did it wrong again. What is my brain doing? I was right the first time. It's 50.
I'll leave you to it.
Yeah, man.
I knew what you meant. We all did.
Let me flail, Riv. Let me flail.
All did.
Yeah.
All right. I have the floaties if you need it.
003. That's why 3 was in my head. Anyway, 50 CS up. 50 points for Cody Sun. But I think he's been doing quite a good job. He's getting funneled a lot of the CS right now. And when he first got on the team, everybody's like, Flame looks great. Dardoch looks great. Pope Belter, you know, NA mid laner is looking great.
Yeah.
And it's like, but this Cody Sun kid, rookie, even after I am Yongi, a ton of criticism went Cody Sun's way, saying that he was the weak link of the team, and it doesn't seem to be that way for the second half of the split.
A lot of different things go into a situation playing on the LCS stage, stress being one of the huge factors, but also you have to remember to stay alive.
And
as we
remembered,
turn our story into a possible fight. Oh. Get out of that. Nice.
And look at this, Cody Sun's just getting funneled to farm. I wonder if Cody Sun will Flame Horizon Afro move this game. Has his top laner taught him well? That's what I'm looking for.
Pressure onto Darshan. Looks like there may be pressure to come to Darshan here. Wards down on the bot side, keeping a little bit of safety for Flame. If they did actually want to get to that bot side turret, they could. CLG being able to repair these outer turrets down does not start with a fight. Might have to be Huhi getting a charm onto someone and picking them in.
For Afro.
Ooh. Okay. Sun was in his eyes. Looks like he's just going to walk out of that one.
Yep.
But as I was saying, CLG could probably look for charm hit to get more wards in. They've actually gained back control of their jungle, so possibly a Grag Assault into that charm and slow Immortals down. Because right now the full fight is not going to work.
Yeah, but I also think they just lose damage-wise. Counterlogic Gaming, they have more damage in their composition because they have something like a Fiora, they have an early game Gragas, etc. They just have more damage, but they don't have the items. So actually Immortals truly has more damage. 2 completed items. Just look at 80 carry inventories. 2 completed items for Cody Sun. The Trinity Force, and now the Muramana and the Manamune. And Afromu's still on pieces of 2. So it's going to take them a while before they're even in a place where they Counterlogic Gaming could fight and consider it a good idea. Because a lot of their kills went to Xmithie as well, who's just going to build that 1 damage item, the Runic Echoes, and then he's going to transition into things like Dead Man's Plate. Maybe he gets something like an Iceborne Gauntlet, but that's about the extent of what you get from a jungle Gragas.
Painful. 20 minutes now. Muramana finished up for Cody Sun, as we were talking about him earlier. In those situations that you always have to either learn a new champion or actually work on CSing for a moment. It's not just they can fix one thing. A player may have a few things in line before they get to that. Hey, this needs to be fixed. We've actually heard teams talk about it before. We know what we're doing wrong, but we're actually working on facilitating this problem before tackling that. It's an interesting concept, but you can't overwhelm yourself. Here, Immortals starting to overwhelm Counter Logic Gaming. More objectives in their favor. And this one's going to be another Ocean Break. These guys will be able to stay out and play forever on Rift.
And gotta work on one thing at a time, like you said.
Yeah.
So Immortals, they worked on that bottom lane turret. They got it. They're at 4 now. And now they have 2 Ocean Drakes, can stay out for a very long time and continue to siege. Still, I'm checking the gold here for Afterlu. He can get the Infinity Edge, but don't know if he wants to go for the full completion on the Runans first. It looks like he's going for Zeal into IE, which is fine. But then you look at Cody-san, and he's getting pretty close to 3 items. He's up about 2,700 gold, which is more than the cost of a Runan's Hurricane, which is 2,600. He's up about a full item right now.
Well, this is the test is, do you also stay composed? As Fear and Ezreal is carried. Or not carried, but carrying this hard. Or the possibility to. Keep that flash, keep that arcane shift for the backwards.
It's a good point, because you think about star potential and you think about somebody like Dardoch who has clutch potential, and he can have those plays where he's flashing forward and losing his team the game or winning his team the game. And Cody-san was kind of known for getting hit by a stun or like losing his team the game. But does he have that clutch factor? Does he have the ability to recognize the situations where he should flash forward and finish a fight and win his team the game? He's just going to play backline the whole time, play it out methodically. The difference between what makes somebody like a really, really great player is that clutch factor. And when they realize those situations, the pressure doesn't get to them. Don't think this is one with like a particularly large amount of pressure because they're so far ahead.
Right.
But it's just a question to consider for Cody-san's career and in the future, as if he gets fed in some games, he gets incredibly far ahead.
Do you have an inner Uzi? Can you just dive in 5v1?
Can you just pop off?
Do you go in? Do you rock jump into an entire team? You're on a ward.
No, the thing is that Lee Sin typically doesn't take a sweeper. He wants those extra wards on top of his tracker's knife to jump around, so they don't have double sweepers. It does affect you at this point in the game a bit. Whoa! Oh!
Oh!
Oh! Joey, get away!
Go, yeah!
No!
No!
The trap card! It's always the trap card with Joey.
That was so close. Nice try. Actually holds the flash. Really wants that to be of assistance in fights. Like, he knows that things are going to happen. He could die so quick. The flash, the exhaust can be used to assist Aftermu in the next one. So with him down, that's a barren attempt for Immortals.
Yeah, I don't think they're actually trying to do it. They're just trying to get some picks. No, Dardoch doesn't like those 50-50s, but hold on. Weaver's Wall.
Ooh. Kuhi drawing out some plays. Darshan, entrance a little sketchy. And I think he comes in a little too late. Flashes over the wall. Very nice play there to get himself to safety after having a bit of a fumble.
Yeah, a lot of summoner spells used there for Immortals, or for Counter Logic Gaming, whereas Immortals, they only had to blow about 3, and then they'll be ready to go back to this Baron. No teleport available for Darshan. Doesn't really have time to lifesteal up and grab his Hydra either. He has to go to the mid side. Smithy might be up to him stealing. He's done it on international stages before with big objectives. Dardoch has the kick. He's looking for the kick to try and get Smithy out of there, and it might just turn.
Joey, Dardoch's out.
They killed Ole.
Dardoch back in.
Supports are down.
Yeah, Joey and Ole are down.
Darshan!
6 seconds on this. Dardoch very low. Darshan almost able to clean him up, but they have pushed him off the Baron, and they stave off what would be a very strong Immortals crashing into the base.
That was super close for Dardoch going down, and that could have been a turn fight there. Darshan gets in, and it looks like he doesn't get any stun off there to return with the riposte. That's going to be a little bit of damage on this turret here. Afterlu can clear the wave, or clear out the turret before the wave goes down, and they get it. First turret for CLG.
Quite a summoner mismatch as well, so good they can get that in a quite pressured situation. We'll see the fight again here at Baron and how they kind of coordinate in and out. Darshan from the side, there he is.
Yeah, this is kind of just get the supports. Joey goes down, Ole goes down. They're all in the back of the pit now. And now they're back on it.
Back to the future. Redemption down. We get a wall. Great damage coming in from Huhi on the backside, causing Immortals to change their mind. Trades of shots from Afromu and Cody-san on the back. Ultimates as well go back and forth. And again, Huhi, Darshan, the damage dealers on the side of Baron. Goal side to Immortals, I should say, with the rest of CLG fighting on the back, are able to stop another Baron. But I think Immortals will go right back here and try to force the fight.
Yeah, they can keep going back to it over and over again. They have the ward control there. If they go do Ocean Drake, then they give up a little bit of that ward control, and we'll have to reestablish it. But I feel like Immortals just want the fight because they're stronger, and this is how you get that enemy team to walk into you constantly. And back when Darshan almost killed Dardoch there, it looked like another riposte that he W'd the auto attack from Flame, and it wasn't a stun, it just returned damage, so Dardoch got to continue moving after. It's a frustrating situation as that Fiora player. But now the Baron started up, Weaver's Wall trying to cut him off. Dardoch trying to get Xmithy out of there.
Xmithy right over the wall, can't flash in. Not going to go to either jungler, but picked up by Cody-san. And the team is able to get out of this one finally, as they pull the trigger a little bit quicker and get there before CLG.
Yeah, there was no spite on there for either of them.
Yeah.
Dardoch dipped out, went for the kick. Xmithy had to kind of flash back into range, but still didn't make it over the wall there.
Really like the last scenario you see. You hardly ever see where no jungler is smiting, unless they're in the pit and they just forget to.
They're so focused on getting the other jungler out.
Right.
And then they aren't able to get the smite. It went down quite quickly. It was like 1,100, then it jumped down to 300, and it got killed by Cody.
So as guessed, vision fading a little bit there for Immortals around Baron, as they did go for the Drake once again. Third Ocean of the game, so we'll get no more Ocean Drakes. 3 of a kind only.
As I look at the levels in this game, there actually isn't much of a disparity here. It's 15 for top laners, 13 for junglers, 15 for mid laners, but then only really the bottom side. Olay hits 11, as Joey's still 9. And this is the lane that was getting smashed pretty hard, but this 60 CS advantage for Cody-san has not grown much more, as Afromu has hit 2 items for a spike. And as these teams start powering up, this is a large gold advantage, but hold on, could be a fight.
Shot back, Cody-san's the focus. Redemption goes down, I believe, for Immortals. That was going to be actually a CLG's. That's Joey's Redemption. Whew. And Immortals head out of this one. That's right. See Ole with the Ardent Sensor, so no redemption for them yet. Flame to the top side, and a great preventative fight from Immortals to especially not have Flame in that.
Yeah, it was a really good explosive cast from Xmithy. That could have been those 2 main damage, those of Pobelter and Cody-san going down. Damage got split a little bit between them, and Pobelter and Cody-san both having to blow the flash off of that. So that's exactly what you want to see from a Gragas explosive cast. Maybe a little bit more damage behind it.
Flame
Great
just
Weaver's Wall.
eating up the cupcakes. Afromu can't even get forward to take the shots. Like you said, the wall disengaging the rest of the team.
Yeah, when everybody's playing scared and back like that, you just cut it off there through the inhibitor or through the turret, and they can't really position onto it, and that's the inhibitor down.
IMT looks to play it safe. They don't want to push themselves too far into this. Looks like they may have a bit more Baron buff to use. They get to that bot lane fast. The ping just came down.
And now it's the reset. They still have about 45 seconds on Baron. It'll take them about that long to run across the map and get waves. But it looks like that bottom side and mid will be where they'll continue to push between those two. Put your bottom laners into the mid and swap it up with your teleport and your semi-global on the bottom side. They show up with this last little bit on the Baron buff. Take over the jungle too. But yeah, Counter Large Gaming, you can definitely see there's stress on their bottom lane in just these matchups here.
It shows you really how fragile the structure of a team is in the end, right?
I mean, you're like, we got rid of one player.
Yeah.
He's out and sick. And it caused us to bring in a guy that doesn't play the same role, so we have to swap a guy playing that role who hasn't played it for 4.5 years. It's a very different beast, even though he plays it in solo queue. Playing alongside a support that you've never played with before, it's a 2-man lane.
Right.
So they definitely suffered early. The pick for themselves really didn't do a whole lot.
It becomes a small second nature things that you, Afromu and Oh, I was gonna say that he has a support, but it's Stixay and Aframu. I'm like Aframu and yeah, the support he plays with. They have those moments where if one of them walks forward, the other one knows what's gonna happen. Bowbelter knows what's gonna happen. He goes down. 53 seconds on the clock here.
Yeah, he just got caught
CLG
out.
doesn't look like they want to go forward too much on that.
And that's exactly what CLG need, though. They need those picks to delay the game, to get them more items. And this wasn't even an explosive cast. This was just Hui going right after him. And that's a pickup there, much needed to alleviate some of this pressure. They can take a little bit of their jungle back, even dare to take a fight in the next 25 seconds while Pobo is down.
Gaining their resources right now, just trying to deny what should be theirs to Immortals. Flame's gonna take control of bot lane once again, but he may find Hui quite fast. The last few kills have allowed Hui to get some penetration in that build, so it's really starting to hurt if he can stay in the face of these squishies.
And Hui has been quite good for the majority of the split, I would say. He's a guy who got a lot of flack last year for Counterlogic Gaming. And
yeah, absolutely.
Like, oh man, he can only play like 1 or 2 champions. And then he goes on the stage, plays Rebellion Soul incredibly well. And I feel like his style, back when he was on Team Fusion, way back in the day, first came over from North America, was to split push, to play Assassins, LeBlanc, Cassidon, Zed. Still a little bit in that same vein here with the Ahri, but the guy definitely knows how to assassinate some people and to play a split pushing type style without having teleport. So I like seeing him on champions like Ahri or even Echo, I think are great fits for him. In this game, he can show that the pressure's on, but he's got a little bit of that clutch factor. He realizes Pobelter took a step too far forward, and even though they're behind, he goes for those plays, knows his damage.
Triggers a bit of that star power.
he's getting there, right? He's got to give away all his resources. Hold on, Sun return.
But GA be okay in this situation. The redemption is well now finished for Ole, so we'll be watching both of those create some diagrams on the ground for us, as both teams try to get that last bit of sustain in for each other. Immortals has been really good about not going for a full engage to get monsooned out, to get it disengaged, and making sure that can never happen in the fight. Every time they're in a fight, it seems like everybody can get to who they want.
And they have to do it quickly too. Immortals, you know, they can play front to back, but their damage starts to teeter off a little bit. The Ezreal will pick up as he gets full build, but hold on. Oh, he's gone.
Monsoon's there, but there may still be the follow-up. Not this time. Joey almost being able to help Xmithy. Stops any further kills, but it may just be the turrets with him being down. A big body for the team to stop this siege. It looks like Immortals will take control now. Another power play towards the mid lane. 14 to 8, 34 minutes in. The second inhibitor will fall, and the bottom minion wave is prepped and ready to be brought in.
Yeah, they're just gonna set up for this. Could be the Baron as well. For Immortals, there's no Xmithy for 20 seconds here for Counterlogic Gaming. I feel like this is one that you start up. Xmithy can't get there in time. You do enough damage with the Mountain Drake, and you go for it.
Hui trying to squeeze out the last bit of damage with some elixir purchases here on the side of Counterlogic Gaming. 4,000 HP for the Baron. Nobody's going to try to skip in. They can't even get him to stop, and now they have to be careful of being routed.
Oh, what's Hui doing?
Top inhibitor is going to get some minion love for the time being, so if CLG stays in a fight, they can start to lose some base.
Darshan caught out.
Can't really protect the GA.
Whoa,
Joey in a crazy spot, puts himself there, goes down.
Oh.
Tries to get the exhaust out as well for the rest of the team to follow up on some kills. Aframu kiting backwards, flash over the wall. Hit forward from Ole. He may stay alive, but the heal comes back. And I believe he did get a bit of health on that one. Aframu now finds himself in a 2v1 situation. You just can't get away from this team. Immortals with the chase down and the 4 kills.
Yep, Flame gonna try to end the game now. Goes to the top side with the TP. Has the Baron buff up, and it's only Xmithy to defend.
Slowly but surely. Oh, here we go. Cavalry returning. Xmithy says, GG, have some Gatorade. We're good to go. Bring it to the next game. A strong showing here in game 1. Methodical, knowing what they needed to do and not going overboard with any of their plays. Immortals, 18 to 10 with a 14,000 gold lead. Take game 1 over CLG.
Like you said, Riv, it was methodical for them.
Yeah.
They knew that they would have that bottom lane advantage with the matchup. Continued to shove Joey and Aframu in. Took no mercy on that bottom lane. made sure that that was the lane that was getting shoved. They got that turret by themselves. Dardoch camped for top and shut down the Fiora, so they didn't have to worry about a split push threat. And the game plan from Immortals looked on point there. It was executed well.
Yeah, absolutely. The Karma Ezreal on the bot lane, not farming the waves too hard, and making sure they always had Aframu and Joey at the halfway point of the lane, hitting them with Mystic shots, hitting them with Soul Flares, Inner Flames, and really able to control that lane. Top side, Dardoch said, okay, they're going to take a Fiora. We banned out that Camille. Darshan wants to try and carry. We'll shut that down early, too.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you need to do. It was a repeat gank after the flash was blown, and then it really was just kind of downhill for there. Darshan ends the game 1-5-1, most deaths, second most deaths on his team. We'll call out Joey for a second. 0-6-4. I mean, the guy barely got any sleep. He has to come in and play his first professional game.
Most of those kills were kind of the wandering ones where you're like, hey, I'm going to ward. You second guess and you say, maybe someone's in that bush, I'm going to ward. In the LCS, when you say maybe to yourself, you have to just say yes. And you either call for help or you ward from over a wall or you length sweep at that point, because it's always going to be the situation where you go down.
Yeah, they got killed in lane, got killed while roaming, got killed while trying to ward. And once that advantage is given up, then the enemy team controls the whole game and you don't get a chance to ward. You walk up, you get picked, you're dead. You're not a tanky support. You don't have a Callista or anything like that to keep you safe. And you can see even just from the damage, the Caitlyn incredibly low in this game because of the fact that you're bullied from this poke distance and you're just kind of shut down by lane matchups. But I will say, you can see Hui really trying to hold on to this game. Very close to being the second highest damage in the game, behind a fed Ezreal and Talia that was just constantly throwing out these Qs and roaming on top of it too. Pobelter did a really great job. But I will say Hui definitely deserves some credit here for how long they stayed in this game.
Absolutely, and it's just kind of seeing the fundamental composition come out from IMT, things that they've played in the past but are also showing here in Week 9. They took away Chronologic Gaming's Aurelion Sol. They took away that Lulu to make anything else comfortable, a Shen in the top lane. So CLG is not even really able to just kind of revert back to things that feel comfortable in that lane.
Yeah, but you also look at the draft where the first pick from Immortals was a little strange because it was the Karma. And you're like, okay, is that really like first pickable over a Malzahar? But if you think about the way that the lane goes, this was a plan to just shove the bottom lane in the whole game. So no matter how the draft went from there, it was like Karma will push the wave, will constantly keep them under their turret. The next thing that Immortals banned, like you said, Aurelion Sol, Zyra, something that could possibly match the shove of the Karma with the plants and the harass. So they made sure that they had a winning bottom lane, and they kind of pushed Joey off of champions that would have any effect on the lane except to keep Aframu safe. So they kind of had to take the brunt of what was going on there from Immortals, and it was set up from the get-go.
I think looking at this, we'll probably see the Lulu banned out next game. Joey playing the Janna this time may actually kind of favor the Karma in the next game, having the shields, giving a little more speed up and utility for the rest of the team to control the fight a little bit better.
Yeah, they may pick the Karma early for themselves on Counterlogic Gaming side, and that could be something that alleviates some pressure on that bottom side, because the reason Janna works in solo queue is you'll make it to those team fights, but teams are incredibly proactive in organized play, and Janna underneath a turret the whole game doesn't really get to do much. You shield the turret, but there's all these shoving supports right now that push and have mini wave advantage, so you don't get level 2 first. You don't get to take those trades, right? That's why like Soraka will be annoying in solo queue, right? Because you're like, oh, I can't get this guy out of lane. But in pro play, it's like, no, you don't have to get him out of lane. You just to kill all the minions instead of the other guy. Get him on the turret. Keep hitting him with skill shots like Ezreal and Karma.
A different play.
And you're good to go.
All right, well, we are going into game 2, but we have to take a quick break. I'm so sorry. When we return, it's game 2 between CLG and